Gonzaga takes on BYU Saturday night in Provo. Sportsbet estimated line. Gonzaga minus 5.5, 145.5. The total, of course, we record early on Friday morning. The lines aren't up yet for Saturday's games, but these estimated lines, well, I'll just put it this way. They've been spot on all year. I have a very sharp guy helping me make those numbers. Look at the standings. Gonzaga, hey, look at them. 26-4, 16-1 on the West Coast. All this Zags rebuilding, it hasn't happened. BYU, they've been rebuilding. The numbers and the standings clearly show it. Gonzaga's moved ahead of St. Mary's in the West Coast Conference. They can clinch the regular season title with a victory here. First meeting between these two teams was really contested. Gonzaga was minus 12 at home. They only won 68-60. Zags led by 10 at halftime. BYU tied it up. Tie game, 59-59 with less than 3 to play. Zags with a 9-1 closeout. BYU did not score a single point on their final 5 possessions. The Zags did it on the defensive end in that game. 3 of 20 BYU was held from 3-point range. TJ Haws was 3 of 7. All other Cougars, 0 of 13. The leading scorer, Elijah Bryant, he averages more than 17 points per game. He had 4 points on 1 of 11 shooting in that first meeting. That's not what I expect to see from BYU this time around. They'll make more than 3-point shots. Bryant will score more than 4 points in the rematch. You know, Gonzaga, that 2017 team that made it to the national championship game, they had go-to end-game players. I mean, big time. This team doesn't. They don't have that guy that they can feed in tight games, especially in hostile environments. There's great balance. Williams, Perkins, Tilly, Norvell, Hashimura, and Melson, all between 10 and 13.5 points per game, but they don't have that one guy. What have we seen since the start of WCC play? We've seen Gonzaga, and this has to be pointed out. Gonzaga's sitting at number 6 in the polls right now. All right. This is what's happened. On January 1st, at the start of conference play, Gonzaga's number 19. This week, they're number 6. The Zags have been pretty much dominant against all the teams in their conference, except for St. Mary's, like they always are. They're much better, even than BYU. That's why they're going to be road chalk in Provo. All they've done is split with St. Mary's and win the rest of their games in a weak conference. That got them from number 19 to number 6 because guess what? All the other ranked teams are playing tougher opponents, and they're taking losses and dropping in the rankings. So this Gonzaga number 6 is nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. The Zags are not the 6th best team in the country. It's BYU that has the emerging go-to guys. Look at the pick. Elijah Bryant, Yelly Childs, 2 guys scoring more than 17 points per game. They're one of the only teams in the country to have 2 guys scoring over 17 points per game. And, of course, BYU, during crunch time, they know where the ball's going. Bryant or Childs will take the last shot in a tight game. And, of course, it's a BYU team. They played Gonzaga tough in the first meeting. They took St. Mary's to overtime here earlier. They ended up losing by 10 in overtime. 74-64 with 60 all at the end of regulation. So it's certainly a team that believes they can play with the big boys of this conference. But there's one stat about BYU I got to talk about. Free throw defense. What's free throw defense? It's nothing, obviously. You can't defend a free throw line. Yet, for BYU this season, opponents have only made about 63.7% of their free throws against them. That's number 1 in free throw defense in the country. The national average, 71.2%. Opposing teams are just missing free throws against the Cougars. And over the course of a season, it really adds up. All right, they've allowed 288 made free throws. If it was a 71.2% average, just average free throw shooting against them, they'd have allowed 34 more points over the course of the campaign. That's a couple of points a game. That's been shaved off BYU's points allowed based on nothing that they've done whatsoever. It could mean the Cougs a little bit overvalued right now compared to how good they are. Also could mean that their totals may be a notch or 2 lower than perhaps they should be, based again on the actual results, not how those results were obtained. Free throw defense is no way to play it And when you see an outlier stat like BYU's, number one in the nation, opponents only making fewer than 64% of those free throws, at this stage of the season, it's worth noting, and it's worth making at least some minor adjustments for your BYU power ratings and total ratings based on the luck factor that's worked in their favor at the free throw line all season long. Best of luck this weekend, guys. Hope you pick nothing but winners. Please be sure to give us a like, to give us a follow, to give us a retweet. We need your love here on SportsBit. We'll see you again on Monday. Kick some ass this weekend. Let's make some money. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.